Hello everybody. This is a little video that I've created to help some of you who took the martial arts unit at school to remember some of the things that we taught you. And I'm not so sure that, I might have taught a couple things outside of what we're going to cover here, but I just wanted to have this as a reference for anybody who is interested in trying to remember the techniques and some of the ideas that were introduced through the martial arts unit. So for the first one, I'm going to have Mr. Renshaw. He's going to step forward and he's going to throw a stepping punch at me. And I am going to do parry with this hand. So I'm going to parry it off to the side so it misses my body. I'm going to come up underneath with this hand, like wax on motion. I'm going to grab his wrist and I'm going to put my hand on his shoulder. Then I'm going to pull him forward. And again, if you're working with each other as partners, you do this gently. I'm going to pull him forward, knee him in the ribs, put my foot back down. Then I'm going to take my forearm bone, and where his elbow bends, I'm going to place my forearm bone up against this joint. I'm going to secure this. I'm going to pull it tight into my body and hold it steady. And then I'm going to apply downward pressure on his elbow by dropping my body weight, not just using my arm, but dropping my body weight so that he goes down to the ground. If you do this in a serious situation, there's a couple variations. You could go 1, 2, and just from here, break it. But that's, again, only when your life is threatened. You can control somebody by dropping them down into the ground in this way. So one more time, he comes at me, and then down. Okay, the second technique is from a hooking punch, because there are two main ways that somebody can strike you. One is a linear straight technique, and the other one is when somebody's going to come in and come like around. So what we're going to try to do is, he'll do this again slowly. He throws a punch, and I block strongly against his forearm and grab his forearm. I'm going to pull this through, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to block, grab the underarm part of his tricep, and with both hands, I'm going to quickly pull him through to spin him, to turn his back to me. This hand is going to reach up across and get him into a forearm choke. Step backwards, you can apply a choke on the person. So again, he throws a punch here and choke. The next technique that we're going to talk about is if someone tries to two-handed choke you. So if someone's coming up and they're choking you this way, pushing you, two things. One thing, that when somebody touches your throat, the first thing you do is to drop your chin to protect your throat, to give yourself a couple of precious seconds of time before somebody would cut your blood circulation or your airway off from choking. So the first thing when somebody touches your throat, you do is to drop your chin in tight. For this particular technique, he's not doing that to me now because I need to be able to speak to you. So he's going to have his hands on my throat. I want to put my one hand here to block his arm so he can't get away. Then I'm going to step backwards. I'm going to raise my hand straight up over my head, not this way so they get tangled up in it. So if he's choking me, I'm going to put my hand here, raise this hand straight up, pull him forward, and you can see he falls into me. This is a part where you work with a partner. You have to be very careful. Slowly, I'm going to drop an elbow strike into his temple. If I happen to be a much smaller individual than the person who would attack me, when I do this, I step back. I'm trapping his hand also. Let me say this. I'm trapping his hand so he doesn't just remove it and punch me. So I'm trapping this hand so it doesn't go anywhere. If he happens to be someone who has much longer arms, he's bigger than me, and I can't reach him with my elbow, you just start throwing the elbow and you allow what's called a hammer fist technique to come out and hit him in the temple with the side of the neck. And that'll be good enough for him. So the other technique that we are going to cover or have covered will be if someone tries to grab you from a rear bear hug where they've pinned your arms down to your side. You know, again, if I'm standing here and I'm not aware and he manages to get around me, it would be best before he gets me, if I notice that I'm getting grabbed, it's best to spread your arms and to try to escape this in this way. But it could be that he'll surprise me and get my arms pinned down. There are a couple things you can do. You can, first of all, if somebody's very big and strong, and particularly if you're shorter than your opponent, which is possible and likely, you can throw your head back and hit them in the face, break their nose, You can stomp down on their foot to hurt them a little bit, to take their mind off it. But the technique that I'm going to demonstrate here is to do this, is to drop your weight. At the same time you drop your weight, you want to have your palms turned up. Step out to the side, thrust your hands out, and then return with a rear elbow strike. You can do a groin strike after the elbow strike. It's important when he grabs me that I don't go like this, so that I'm equal, so his body isn't behind me. So I can either go out to the right or out to the left, but I've got to step off the line so that I can hit him with that. So then we're going to do up against the wall. So there are a couple situations that might be more particular to females, but not necessarily that it would not be happening to males, is that if someone pushes me up against the wall and they're holding, maybe you just want to move just a little bit at an angle so they can see. So if somebody's pushing me up against the wall here and holding my shoulders back, what can I do? So again, assuming that maybe his arms, the person who's attacking you would be bigger and have longer arms, it's hard for me to reach him perhaps. So what I want to do is to try to knock this arm off quickly. I can use both hands or one hand, and I want to knock it off and elbow strike him in the face. So this hand came into play. So when I push him off, this hand secures his head so he can't pull away. This hand drops an elbow strike into his face. Obviously, if you're in a situation like this, that is going to be pretty devastating and hurt this person. Whether it takes them out or not, as soon as you hit them, you need to take off. The most important thing is to escape with your life and to be safe. So when he does this, he grabs, elbow strike, go, take off. Another scenario that could happen is that somebody pins your hands up against the wall. Now again, relax for a second. If this kind of thing might happen more often than if a male doing this to a female, where somebody's being inappropriate, they're pushing your hands up against the wall, they're trying to get their body close to you. That, as unpleasant as that is, also provides you with an opportunity to defend yourself because their body is very close. So if he's doing this and his body's very close to me, I am in a position where I can bring my knee up to his groin. So you violently bring your knee up to his groin, step back, strike him with an elbow in the face, shove him, and take off. So I think that's about it. Thanks for checking these videos out, and certainly if you have any questions or you want more information, there's contact information on the website. You're welcome to give me a call or email me anytime with anything that you want to know about. Thanks.